Hey everyone, welcome back to On the Fence Movie Reviews. I am Adrian, joined by my co-host Rob. Today we're going to be talking about The Little Things. So, The Little Things stars a trio of Oscar winners: Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, and Jared Leto. Denzel plays John Deacon, a former LA detective who's now moved to Kern County as a deputy, who's drawn back by a series of murders that are very similar to a murder that he never solved himself. He joins forces with uh, Jimmy, a young hotshot detective played by Rami Malek, and they're on the case and they're on the trail of one Albert Sperma, played by Jared Leto, and the film takes off from there. Rob, let's jump right into it. What were your thoughts of The Little Things?
Okay, right off the bat, Adrian, I'm gonna say the acting in this movie was superb. Specifically, Denzel. I watched this movie with my wife, and 5 minutes of Denzel being on the screen, my wife just was like, "This guy is an amazing actor,"
Yeah.
and it's true that he's just, uh, you know, when this movie starts and Denzel comes on the screen, you're following him around, and you can just with Denzel's acting, you can just feel the weight like in his character. Like there's something on this guy's shoulders. You don't know what it is yet, but you could
Mm-hmm.
just feel like this weight on his shoulders. And Denzel does an amazing job, kind of showing that through his emotions, because you really don't get too much of his story yet, when you first meet him. So I really did enjoy that. Rami Malek, his character's name is Jimmy, right? If Yeah.
Yes.
So he comes off, we kind of meet him. He seems like the hot shot, young cop who's, just he's cool, and he kind of just plays by his own set of rules. But I feel like we get a lot of character development with him, and we kind of see a little more of him. And I honestly, when it kind of started, I didn't know if I was going to like his character, but by the end of the movie, I ended up really enjoying his character and his character arc in this movie. And um Denzel and Rami Malek together, I feel like have amazing on screen chemistry, and I really enjoyed them kind of together, in this movie, working this case. And just it it's just the story. I feel like the story is good. It's a good, kind of, I don't even know if I want to say it's like a crime solving movie. I feel like it's more about them and just them as
Uh-huh.
people. And I think they did an amazing job. Also, Jared Leto, I feel like his character is a little bit creepy, and I think he plays that not too much, but he just does a very good job at the role he is playing in this movie, and just kind of his back and forth with these cops. And um I think I just overall, I think it was really good. um if I'm gonna, I don't know if there's too many negatives I can say about this movie. Maybe one thing is, maybe halfway through the movie you kind of see the direction of where this movie's going, but that doesn't take away from how good these actors are playing
Yeah.
their role, and how good the movie is. So I don't know, Adrian, what did you think?
Um, a lot of what you said is I do agree with. I for me the main draw of this film are the characters, are the
Okay.
actors. Denzel, Rami Malek, and even Jared Leto, who I'm not a big fan of. He performed very well in this film. He gave a very the way he does like the little mannerisms, the way he walks, the way he just kind of delivers his dialogue, really gave you that creepy sense about this guy. Like he's a wormy, disgusting type of character that you just do not like, and that's kind of what you want in a film villain. Um, and also the cinematography. I really
Yeah.
like the lighting and some of the shots that they do in this film, as well as the score by Thomas Newman, who really sets the atmosphere with
Yes.
some of the scenes. It's so those things all really work together and they work really well. But the biggest problem for me is that story. It just
Okay.
didn't pull me in all the way. it's nothing that we haven't seen before. It's nothing to kind of write home about. It's just kind of like what makes it watchable are these actors bringing their A game and really kind of drawing you in. And like much of what you said, it's not so much about the murder mystery as much as it is about these cops and Denzel's character, more in particular, dealing with um, past guilt and
Right.
and dealing with the moral dilemma and ethics and how they handle themselves when they're trying to solve a crime. And so when you see that and like what you're saying, that chemistry between Remy Malek and Denzel, that's what really shines in this film. And I think that's really the focal point of this film. And you know, for me, Remy Malek, I guess, out of the three actors, is probably the weakest. But I think it might be
Okay.
just more because of the way his character's written. He's just kind of just straightforward. I would have loved to have seen a little bit more emotion out of him, a little bit more, because he's just really ebb and flow, just kind of even killed. It's not till the very end, and again, I don't want to spoil anything, where we see that emotion come from him and what it does to him at the end of all of this. And so, um, but overall, I do feel it's enjoyable, but nothing that is like blow your mind. This is the most amazing crime thriller I've ever seen. It's just, pretty. It's nice. It's good, but it's not amazing. But that's more or less how I felt about
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Rob, with all that being said, are you gonna recommend it? Are you gonna get off the fence? Or are you gonna just stay on?
So here's before I get into that, I did forget one thing I wanted to mention.
Okay.
There's a scene in this movie. Again, no spoilers. There's a scene in this movie that takes place like in an interview room,
Okay. Yeah.
and it is it is just amazing. You get all characters.
Yeah, and that's one of the best scenes in the
Yeah, yeah,
film.
you get all the characters in there, and it's a very cat and mouse kind of, going back and forth, and it's probably honestly one of the best scenes I've seen in a while. Just as far as the back and forth, but in saying that, I am going to say you should definitely get off the fence and check this movie out. Like you were saying, Adrian, the story is nothing as far as originality. It's nothing that we haven't seen before, but the acting of these three characters is, in my opinion, um, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I feel like Denzel brings it, and Rami Malek. I think
Yeah.
I know how you have your feelings about it, but I feel like he also brings it, and Jared Leto does what he's supposed to do for his character, and all of them together, I feel like make these actors elevate this movie to maybe the
Yeah.
movie was down here, but they elevated up. So that's why I will say, definitely get off the fence and check this movie out. Adrian, what about you?
For me, I'm right there with you because even though I didn't really care for the story too much,
Okay.
um, the good outweighs the bad,
Okay.
right? So
Right.
there's more good about it than there are bad things about it. Little pacing issues, little story issues, but again, it's Denzel bringing his A game. I mean, God, the guy in a bad movie makes it watchable. So and he does the same here. Remy Malek, Jared Leto, they're all worth watching and taking a look at, and it's on streaming, so it's definitely like I don't feel too bad about saying like get off the fence and go watch it, because it is something that we can watch on streaming and not feel like, oh, I had to shell out 20-25 bucks to go to the theater and watch it, and
Okay.
but
Okay.
I would recommend watching it.
Okay. Let me ask you this then. If you could choose between watching it in the theater and
Okay.
shelling out that $20 or watching it at home, which do you think it's worth? Do you think you're just gonna stream it, or would you be willing to pay to go watch this movie in the theater?
For me personally, I would say I'd rather stream it
Okay.
than pay to go watch it in a
Okay.
theater, only because again, I understand the cost of going to a theater and all of that, and
Right.
I know a lot of people have to be selective of when they go spend to go to a theater. So if it's available to watch on streaming, it's you're not losing too much, because again, a lot of times these films that are streamed on the big screen, they're these big kind of either epics or
Right.
these
Right.
big big major releases that kind of the size of the screen and the atmosphere service the film. here, I don't think it would have made that much of a difference
Okay.
experience wise, other than I had to pay this much versus I was already hanging out in my shorts watching you know, watching watching this film
Okay.
and
Okay.
and at my convenience. So those, I mean, again, that's how you weigh it. I mean, if you're a big Denzel fan, and you love everything he does, then I would say, yeah, maybe go out to the theater and watch it because you're gonna have a good time watching Denzel. Because but if you're kind of the way the trailers kind of portrayed as like this darker, gritty neo noir, almost like a Seven type crime thriller, you might be a little bit disappointed because it's not so much about that as much as it's about Denzel's character, Rami Malek's character, and how they deal with crime, how they deal with morality, and sort of like the ethics of how to handle these sorts of things.
Yeah.
And you know, if you're expecting like that kind of like that really dark, like kind of like eerie stuff, you're not really gonna get it here. So you might leave the theater a little bit
Okay.
disappointed. So
Okay.
that's why I say,
Right.
everybody's different, their tastes are different. So for me, I would say, you know what, get off the fence, watch it. If you're gonna stream it, maybe not spend the $25 to go watch it. I don't know, but that's just the way I feel about it.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Well, guys, thanks you for watching our review of The Little Things. Why don't you comment down below and let us know what you thought of The Little Things. Also, don't forget to click like, subscribe, share with all of your friends, and follow us on Instagram at On the Fence Movie Reviews.
And remember, we'll catch you on the fence.